Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So you are Chote Verma. You have
Yes, sir.
applied for Assistant Registrar Cooperative Societies, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Chotelal Verma. I belong from Tehleel of Jammu district. I did my graduation in humanities from Government MEM College in 2015. Since then, I have been preparing for various competitive examinations, and right now I am before you for the interview post of this assistant registrar exams.
So, as far as I can see from your DAF, that you are a graduate in history, sociology, and political science.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me that what, according to you, can be impact of metaverse on Indian society?
So metaverse can change the fiscal or the financial landscape because it involves the use of crypto as well as digital assets. As we have seen that recently, digital currency has been is will be brought out by the RBI as seen in the recent budget. Besides, there are some implications of the metaverse also. If in the absence of any proper framework, there can be certain security aspects related to the use of money laundering.
Okay. So, as you have rightly said in your answer that RBI has come up with its own digital rupee or digital currency. Can you tell me the technology it will work on?
Sir, it will work on the blockchain technology.
So, what are the various applications of blockchain technology apart from the money aspect of it or apart from the cryptocurrencies?
Okay. Sir, in the form of blocks, we can keep the land records. Uh, so besides that, uh, I'm not able to recall any other multifarious aspects of the blockchain technology.
Okay. I'd like to ask you that since you have applied for assistant registrar, can you tell me the job profile of an assistant registrar?
So, assistant registrar will assist the registrar in various aspects related to the working of cooperative societies, right from incorporation till the winding up or closing up of the cooperatives. In between, there are various aspects. For example, the registration of the societies, amendments to the bylaws, auditing works, uh, uh, auditing works, as well as making sure that the various rules and the uh, rules and the laws in place are being followed so that the efficiency of the cooperatives can be maintained as well as the proper functioning of cooperatives can be ensured.
Okay. So, as you have said in your answer regarding the winding up of cooperative societies, can you tell me that after the winding up is done, and what is the liquidation process of a cooperative society? And are you aware of the term waterfall?
So, regarding the first question, the winding of the society, the registrar concerned will appoint a liquidator who will have certain time frame to deal with the various issues involved in the closing up or the winding up of the society. For example, the selling up of the fixed assets, movable or the immovable assets. Then, once the report is prepared and all the things have been looked after as per the laws or the rules in place, then only the liquidation will be finalized. So, however, regarding the second question, the windfall, I'm not sure, sir. I have heard about this term.
Okay. So, another question is, can you tell me what is the difference between how the cooperative movement started in India and how it actually began in the Britain?
So, in India, uh, towards the late 1880s, there were the issues related to agricultural distress. So few of the laws like the Agriculture Relief Act and the Deccan Agriculture Act were placed, but these were not cooperative acts in the true sense. However, later on, the Madras government sent uh, sir, I'm forgetting the complete name, but Frederick Nicholson. I'm sorry, sir, if I'm giving the wrong name. To in Europe to study the cooperatives in there and how they are working, and he later on submitted the report in which he suggested to study the model Raiffeisen model, which was being followed in rural Germany, and he suggested to implement that model here. Later on, there were various acts which were passed. For example, the 1905 Credit Cooperatives Act. Then in 1912, the Cooperative Societies Act, and then the multi-units, uh, the multi uh, the multi-state cooperatives acts in 1942. When it comes to the second part of your question, how it began in Europe, sir, the start of cooperatives can be traced back to the first documented society, the Finwick Weavers Society in Scotland. However, the father of cooperatives movement is considered to be Robert Owen, who, along with William King and some other people, set up the Rochdale Pioneer Society in Britain.
Okay. So, can you tell me that is in which list this cooperative comes in which list of the constitution?
Uh, Sir, in the seventh schedule, there are the mentioning of cooperation is mentioned in the two different lists. One in the state list, it is entry number 32, and in the union list, it is entry number 44.
Okay. Are you aware of the Prime Minister's vision of Sahakar se Samriddhi, and what
Yes,
is
sir.
it all about?
Sir, when in July the new Ministry of Cooperation was set up, the vision was Sahkar se Samriddhi, or the prosperity through cooperation. It is the vision of cooperative led economic development, which will be inclusive as well as creating various socio-economic opportunities for the overall economic development, socio-economic development of the country.
You have written in your extracurricular activities and hobbies that you are interested in watching web series and going for a walk. Can you tell me that how does the OTT platform work?
So OTT platforms have various components, or we can say the categories of entertainment. For example, there are web series, and then there are movies also, docu series also. So the most common way is that those who produce the film, they sell their rights to the OTT platforms, let's say to the Netflix, and then Netflix will pay some amount which will be obviously greater than the amount of what it went in the production. Then the OTTs, they earn through ads as well as by the new subscriptions.
Okay. Uh, can you tell me what kind of rights these are that are sold?
Sorry, sir.
Can you tell me that what kind of rights these are, and are you aware of the various kinds of intellectual property rights? And this production of a film or a production of a docu series or production of a documentary, for that matter, comes under which of these rights in the intellectual property right schedule?
Sir, I'm not able to recall the exact type of which deals with the these creative.
Uh, yes. Are you aware of the intellectual property rights?
Yes, sir. Intellectual property rights. I don't know.
So, do we have any international agreement regarding intellectual property rights?
Sir, there is one TRIPS trade,
Yes,
sir, the trade related intellectual property. Sir, the
rights.
S word I'm forgetting.
Okay, okay. We have in intellectual property rights, there is a right known as patent. And India has a very, we can say that the developed world is quite on the criticism part of it. The developed world is not very happy with India's stand on the patents of these pharmaceutical companies. And can you tell me about what the real issue is and what is the concept of evergreening of patents?
Yes. Sir, actually, when a company, a pharmaceutical company develops some drug which has very great therapeutic use, that company gets a patent. And sir, whenever it has increased or improved the key composition, the further the patent is only provided if there is any therapeutic improvement over the previous version. So what companies try to do is they increase they make the required changes, and then they get further patents, and they keep on getting patents for that. So that is this is what we call as evergreening of patents. So
Okay,
secondly, your question about like what the issue in India. Sir, actually, some years back there was issue with some cancer drug. Sorry, sir, I'm forgetting the name of that drug. But the issue was that India went for the compulsory licensing of that drug, because there is a provision in the Indian rules that if there is a case for public uh, interest, when it is the government can have two options. Either it can go for voluntary licensing or the compulsory licensing. Voluntary licensing is that if the government or the sovereign state asks and the companies agree, then they will be provided certain royalty in the form of that they are giving up their licenses for the public use. However, in that case, we went for the compulsory licensing. The issue with the pharmaceutical drug companies at present, what their so-called criticism about Indian government or the Indian regime is that we are a little bit strict about the licensing terms, and we often go for compulsory licensing.
okay. Are you aware of the concept of patent cliff?
Sorry, sir, I haven't heard about it.
Okay, what is a blockbuster drug?
Sorry, sir. Uh, I
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
sure I know about it, but I will check it. Check about it.
okay, no problem. I'd like to ask one last question from me in the first round.
Yes.
Would be that you have just now talked about agricultural distress that was seen in India when the cooperative movement started. And can you tell me, have are we still in the agricultural distress phase, or have we gotten out of it? And if we are getting out of it, what are the various steps by the government to make the farmers get out of this stress?
So, if we see from the national perspective, from the food security perspective, we have long overcome that phase due to the green revolution, that we transited from food scarce country to a food sufficient country, and in fact food surplus country. However, when we talk about the on the individual basis or the farmers issue, we see that there are issues of the farmers income which are not increasing as is being targeted. For example, the doubling farmers income, which was set, the target was set to be 2022. However, there are issues with regards to the uh, efficiency of production, as well as there are issues with like the contract farming that is being targeted to so that we can achieve economies of scales. And because India has quite a huge number of marginal and small farmers, and that small parcels of land do bring up certain issues to achieve those targets.
Okay, so we could continue.
Yes.
Can you tell me the cooperative sector in Jammu and Kashmir is not as good as if you compare the state called Maharashtra? What are the reasons?
Sir, as we see that the first problem is the resource constraint, because the user base, which we can say that the user base, because the members, as many members, when many members join or greater number of people join the cooperative movement, then the user base increases and the resource base also increases. Secondly, sir, there were certain issues with the state cooperative banks, that the cooperative banks in the various levels. Recent reports were there that most of them are loss making. So that is also another issue. Third issue, sir, the skewed, we can say the limited spread of the cooperatives in few sectors only. For example, the in the dairy sector, we see that there is the umbrella organization which runs the snow cap. Doing quite good. However, and besides that, we haven't seen the similar spread as well as the successes in other fields, whereas there are many various sectors where the cooperatives can flourish. And sir, another one which I think is really a very good, very great concern is that the real potential of cooperatives, if we see the awareness, especially among the young section, among the youth, sir, it is very limited. We need to spread the awareness as well as literacy about cooperatives also.
My question is, what is the role played by RBI and NABARD in Jammu and Kashmir in cooperative sector?
So the cooperative banks from the district level to then the apex level and the urban cooperatives, those come under the dual regulation. The RBI comes into play regarding the supervision of certain parameters which have to be followed by these cooperative banks. Accordingly, NABARD looks after the inspection works of these cooperative banks uh, uh, through the Section 35 of the Banking Regulation Act. Besides that, NABARD is also implementing some schemes in the cooperative sector here in J&K, like the cooperative, like the poultry cooperatives project is there. Then the integrated cooperative development project is also there. Then there was one in the agriculture field also.
Okay, I can see in your draft you have mentioned political science, history, sociology, and English.
Yes, sir.
So, as you are preparing for ARCS, it is the post announced by Jkpsc. Say, for example, as a member of Jkpsc or any state PSC, he cannot do any employment. He can become the chairman, he can become the member of UPSC even, but he cannot do any other employment. Can he become the governor of any state?
Uh, sir,
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall the provisions, sir.
Okay. From history, as we know, 1857 is the great year in Indian history. I think you might have gone through the modern history.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the greased cartridge was used at that time
Yes.
because that goes against both Hindus and Muslims. Can you tell me the name of that weapon which was used before greased cartridge?
Sir, you are saying that the bullets or the weapons used before the.
Weapon, weapon used before the introduction of greased cartridge in 1857.
Sorry, sir. I have. I cannot recall, sir.
Okay. From political science again, can you tell me the name of four books which is written by Plato?
So, the first one is the republic,
Mhm.
then the statesman, then the laws.
The fourth one.
So, so I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall it.
Tell me the two functions which are performed by assistant registrar cooperative.
So, among the various functions while assisting the registrar, the assistant registrar works at the block level. So, the two functions can be, sir, one like in the election process, looking after electoral roll that is being prepared. Second can be the, sir, when the audit work is being done. So, to look after the auditing work.
Okay. If we see the constitutional development of India, then we started from 1773 Regulation Act. Okay, so why this act 1773 is known as Regulation Act when we there are many other acts till 1947. No act is called a Regulation Act. The 1773 is called a Regulation Act. Can you tell me the reasons? What was the historical background why this act is called a Regulation Act?
Sir, actually, it was the first time that the British Parliament uh, tried to regulate the activities of the East India Company. Uh, through that, uh, they try to separate the economic activities as well as the other activities of the East India Company. However, later on we see that they went on to bring other acts which were like developments on the legislations. So for after that, because the first regulation had already taken place. So next thereafter they try to enlarge the scopes and try to increase try to inculcate other aspects
No,
which were not done before.
no. My question is why it is called a Regulation Act? Why the government start controlling the company? What was the reason?
So actually, the East India Company, which had originally come as a trading company, had got involved in various military activities also because some they had got participated in some wars also, and they were also trying to administration in trying to enter into administration of certain territories which they had won in those wars. So the British Parliament tried to limit the scope of the East India Company only up to the trade or the economic aspects and try to bring in other mechanism for the rest of the things.
Okay, are you sure whatever you are saying? Are you sure about that?
So I may be missing. I'm sure I may be missing something very important related to it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Verma, I would like to ask you, can you briefly explain the credit structure, the cooperative credit structure in India?
So the cooperative credit structure can be on the out at the first time. Sorry, sir. In the first aspect, we can divide into two broader divisions. First is the small and medium term, and second is the long term credit. So on the first side, there are three tiers of societies. First is the primary agricultural credit societies which work at the village or block level. Then there are district central cooperative banks, and lastly there are the state cooperative banks at the apex level. On the second side, on the long term credit side, there are primary cred, cooperative agricultural rural development banks, PCARDBs, and then there are the state cooperative agricultural rural development banks at the apex level. Sir, on the as well as there are the cooperative banks in the urban areas also, which we call as urban cooperative banks.
Regarding the urban cooperative banks, can you tell me that? whether urban cooperative banks are able to issue equity and preference shares?
Sir, in 2020, in the wake of Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank financial irregularities case, an amendment was done to the Banking Regulation Act, whereby the urban cooperative banks were also allowed to issue equity shares and other preference shares.
Okay, can you tell me the brief difference between the equity and preference shares?
Uh, sir, sorry, sir, the technical aspect, I'm not able to uh,
Okay, okay.
differentiate both of
Uh,
these.
that's fine. You are from the district Jammu, Tehsil, Suchetgarh. I would like to
Yes,
ask
sir.
you what are the various cooperatives in your district?
Sir, okay. So there are in the cooperative bank side, there is the Citizens Cooperative Bank Jammu.
Okay,
Beside, uh, besides that, there is the Jammu Kashmir Producers Cooperative Limited. Their office is at Satwari.
okay,
Third, sir, the housing cooperative, the cooperative housing limited, the Jammu and Kashmir Cooperative Housing Limited, that is also in Jammu.
okay. How would you rate the contribution of cooperative sector in the growth of Jammu Kashmir's economy?
Sir, at present, we see that uh, some of the cooperatives are doing good and they are contributing in various capacities. However, if we talk about the potential of the cooperatives overall in the overall uh, socioeconomic development, then there are very bright potentials and scopes which we can explore. Sir, however, I'm not able to rate like some numerical degree or some other degree, sir.
What are the measures you if you became an assistant registrar in the at the block level? What are the measures that you can take at the block level to increase the awareness and influx of cooperative societies?
Sir, for awareness at the block level, because block is the second most tier from the bottom. First there are villages and then there are the blocks, which are many block villages comprised in a block. So at to spread it at this such a lower level or at such a ground level, various steps need to be taken. For example, we can try to inculcate it in the curriculum of in the local in the schools at the local level. No, if cannot be done through the formal means, then at least we can arrange some we can say the cooperative fair or some cooperative day, like there is the International Day of Cooperatives. On that day we can try to hold some fairs events in the schools and colleges at the local level. Secondly, sir, when the National Cooperative Week is being celebrated, we see that at various levels, trade fairs, cooperative trade fairs are held. Similarly, we can try that at the block level also. We can invite the panchayats of the that particular block, get them to meet with some of the cooperatives, some of the flourishing cooperatives that are which are in Jammu and Kashmir in other parts. We can invite some of their leaders or the some of uh, the those people who are involved with cooperatives. We can bring them for interaction. They can spread more awareness among them. They can tell about their experiences also. Further, sir, we can create some short videos to and we can use make use of uh, some some busy roads or chokes, as we say. There are some chonks in the villages where we can display them on, let's say, even if not every day, but on some, like, let's say, Sunday every fortnightly, or once in a month. On certain days we can designate, and those short videos can create awareness, like what is cooperative, what is the legal, in the legal sense, what is a cooperative, how the cooperatives can help us to create jobs, how we can make use of local aspects, and we can see where the cooperatives can actually create opportunities for the local people.
Okay. One last question for me is: do you know about the One Ombudsman scheme?
So, one ombudsman scheme. Sorry, sir. I'm not aware about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Mr. Verma, as I was looking in your draft, it shows that in 10th standard you have achieved 90, then 12, 88, then in BA it's only 66%. Okay, it is decreasing when it should be increased. Can you tell me the reason?
Sir, actually, in my graduation, I did not opt for any that subject which had a practical aspects also. For example, in geography, we have practical uh, component also in it. So when I came to my college, I saw that some of my other friends who had, let's say, geography or even in psychology, so they were getting better marks. However, it is not only about marks, it is more about like what we are learning out of it. uh, Graduation degree as such, it even if some person has only just a simple graduation degree and not so good marks, but it becomes, we can say, a gateway to enter in some, like, let's say, the competitive exams, where the weightage of marks do not matter as such, but how one performs, or what one has learned, and how one is going to make use of that education, and make use of the opportunities before him or her.
What about presidential election in India? How he is elected?
So the president of India is elected via an electoral college, whereby the members of parliament, the Lok Sabha members and the Rajya Sabha members, as well as the members of those states and union
These are
territories,
members or elected members.
elected members, sir,
Okay.
as well as the elected members of those states and union territories which have legislative assemblies. Those participate.
Okay. What about IFCO and legit Papad?
Sir, IFCO is one of the largest cooperatives of the world, which particularly deals with the fertilizer production. Besides, they have also entered into other aspects also. Second, and coming to the Lijat Papad, it's the Lijat Papad is its common name, but the original name is Sri Mahila Griha Udyog Limited. It is based out of Mumbai. It is majorly a women's led cooperative, whereby they produce fast moving consumer goods like Lijat Papad, and it has come out to be a very successful cooperative.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get to the feedback now. Okay, so you
Yes, sir.
can be at your ease. So, what do you think about the interview? How has it been?
So, it was good, sir. There were various kinds of questions which touched upon various dimensions, some of which I hadn't thought about. So, since my interview is on day after, so I will do some required corrections, or
Okay.
refreshing my concepts.
Okay. Regarding your feedback, that I noticed is you are very much, honest about your opinions and honest about your answers. If you don't know the answer, you clearly say that I don't know, and I will look into it. So that is very good aspect of it. Interview में जैसे ही आपको कोई इंटरव्यू पैनलिस्ट ऐसा होता है जो कंटिन्यूसली आपको ऐसे सवाल पूछेगा, मे बी जो फैक्चुअल बेस्ड हो, जिसमें ये पता होती है हमें कि स्टूडेंट विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिकॉल इट राइट नाउ, बिकॉज इंटरव्यू का प्रेशर भी है, स्ट्रेस भी है, और फैक्चुअल चीजें याद करना काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है. बट यू स्ट्रेस्ड इट वेरी वेरी गुड. तो स्ट्रेस टॉलरेंस में यू डोंट हैव टू वर्क, वो काफी अच्छा है आपका. नॉलेज बेस जो पैरामीटर है, नॉलेज इज ऑल्सो यू गुड. अपने जो करंट भी आपको पता था, जैसे अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स पे जो प्रेफरेंस और इक्विटी शेयर्स का क्वेश्चन था, तो दैट वाज फ्रॉम द करंट. तो करंट की भी आपकी नॉलेज अच्छी है. व्हाट आई फेल्ट इज जो आपकी अपनी तहसील है उसके रिलेटेड आपके पास अच्छा खासा डेटा होना चाहिए. आई आई वुड रिकमेंड, क्योंकि अब आपके पास ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है, यू शुड विजिट योर ओन, जो वहाँ का कॉर्पोरेट डिपार्टमेंट है, वहां पर विजिट करो, वहां से डेटा ले लो, ताकि आपके एरिया में जितनी भी कॉपरेटिव्स है उसके बारे में आपके पास एक अच्छा खासा डेटा आपके पास होना चाहिए, अपने तहसील के बारे में, अपनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट के बारे में, नंबर ऑफ कॉपरेटिव्स कौन कौन सी है, किस सेक्टर का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन रहा है, क्या उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स है, एंड व्हाट आर द मेजर्स दैट यू कैन टेक. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड प्रिसाइसली एट द ब्लॉक लेवल, क्योंकि यू हैव टू वर्क एट द ब्लॉक लेवल, देयरफॉर यू मस्ट नो थिंग्स एट व्हाट आर द क्राइसिस एट द ब्लॉक लेवल, और आप कैसे उसको अपने नॉलेज से, अपने बैकग्राउंड से, या जैसे भी आप उसको चेंज कर सके. और वन मोर थिंग, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आई अंडरस्टूड दैट आपका सेटिंग पोस्चर भी काफी अच्छा है, फॉर्मल भी सही है, सो उसमें देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. आई वुड से दैट योर इंटरव्यू हैज बीन वेरी गुड, and if you're not selected, then that will be a real disappointment, and it will not be a loss for you, it will be a loss to the cooperative department if they don't select you. So I would rate कि आपका बहुत ही अच्छा इंटरव्यू हुआ है. बाकी आपको सर बताएंगे.
ओके मिस्टर वर्मा,
Thank you.
जैसे कि मैंने आपको क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं हिस्ट्री से या कोऑपरेटिव से या गणित पॉलिसी से, आपको पूछा है कि आपके सिलेबस में ज्योग्राफी मेंशन है, तो प्लीज मैंने वहां से आपको क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा कि वो थोड़ा सा फोकस करना, और ज्योग्राफी पॉलिटी जो भी आपकी सिलेबस में है, तो पर्टिकुलरली आप फोकस ज्यादा करना करंट अफेयर्स, और जो कोऑपरेटिव आपका है, मे बी कोऑपरेटिव से आपको क्वेश्चन वहां पूछे जाएंगे, क्योंकि ये कोऑपरेटिव डिपार्टमेंट ही है. तो जो पैनलिस्ट होंगे ऑब्वियसली वो कोऑपरेटिव डिपार्टमेंट से ज्यादा होंगे, तो वो आपको क्वेश्चन कहीं से भी पूछ सकते हैं. तो कोऑपरेटिव का फोकस करना, प्लस आप करंट अफेयर्स का भी फोकस करना रिगार्डिंग कोऑपरेटिव, और जो भी रिसेंट जो अवार्ड्स जो भी आए हैं, तो उनके थोड़ा सा फोकस करना, क्योंकि वो इतना छोटा सा फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, वो फिर उसको आप रिकॉल नहीं कर पाते. तो थोड़ा सा एक बार अगर 2 बार अगर आप नजर मारेंगे आज दिन या कल दिन अगर आपके पास है, तो आई होप कि आपका इंशाल्लाह अच्छा हो जाएगा.
Sure, sir.
ओके.
If you want to ask anything, you're free to ask.
Yes. Sir, let's say जैसे कि सर रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट का आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, आई एम श्योर सर अगर उनमें इतना बड़ा पैनल होगा, आई हैव हर्ड कि वहां पे 8 9 10 मेंबर्स हो सकते हैं उस पैनल में, अगर फुल पैनल बैठेगा जेकेपीएससी का. तो सर अगर कोई ऐसा आ जाता है कि कोई ऐसे मेंबर आ जाते हैं जो ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, लेट्स से, क्योंकि सर मेरा पॉलिटिकल साइंस ऑप्शनल रहा है आफ्टर ग्रेजुएशन, मैंने सर 3 बार मैं यूपीएससी मेंस में भी मैं बैठ चुका हूँ, और एक बार जेकेपीएससी मेंस लिखा है 2018 का, और अभी फिर से लिखने जा रहा हूँ 21 वाला. तो सर अगर ऐसा पॉलिटिकल साइंस है या फिर मेरे हिस्ट्री और या सोशियोलॉजी मैंने पढ़ी है ग्रेजुएशन में, तो ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन उठा के पूछ लेते हैं विच इज ऐसे नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस में एक्सपेक्टेड होता है कि पता होना चाहिए एटलीस्ट, पर सर जैसे मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा था वहां पे क्या है, तो सर मेरा रिस्पॉन्स कैसे होना चाहिए, और सर उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा इफ आई डोंट नो अबाउट द बेसिक्स.
एग्जैक्टली. अगर आप आंसर दे रहे हो और वो गलत आंसर हो रहा है, तो मुझे लगता है कि आप पैनलिस्ट को हर्ट करते हो. तो अगर आपको से फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने आपको ये क्वेश्चन पूछा, कल वो कोई और क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछेंगे और आप जवाब दे रहे हो, आप तभी जवाब देना जब आप 100% कॉन्फिडेंट हो. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं, अगर मैं जवाब दे रहा हूँ तो शायद ये गलत हो रहा है, और वो मजे ले रहे हैं आपका, ठीक है, वो भी होता है. जब पैनलिस्ट बैठे हुए होते हैं, बहुत सीनियर होते हैं, तो सिंपली सर बोलो, सर सॉरी सर आई डोंट नो. अगर आपको 2 क्या 3 क्या 4 क्वेश्चन को भी अगर ऐसा बोलना पड़ेगा, तो सिंपली से सॉरी सर आई डोंट नो, मगर गलत जवाब कभी मत दे. ठीक है.
You can do one thing in those sort of questions. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपको कुछ आइडिया नहीं है, प्रिसाइज आइडिया नहीं है इसके बारे में, लेकिन You can make a calculated guess based on your knowledge. आपने 4-5 साल में जितना पढ़ा है, you can make a calculated guess. उसमें you don't have to start with the guess. जैसे कि आपने एक बारी में कहा भी था, जैसे सर I'm not able to recall. However, if you allow me, then I can make a guess. So you have to ask for the permission. कि आपको पूछना है उनसे कि
Okay.
अगर आप अलाउ करेंगे तो मैं क्या ट्राई कर सकता हूँ, मैं एक जनरल आपको ओवरव्यू बता सकता हूँ या मैं एक गेस कर सकता हूँ. If they allow you, then you can even say the wrong answer. That will not be a problem because you have already asked for the permission and you have already accepted that you don't know the answer. Okay, so in that
जी.
case, you can just take a guess. Anything
Okay.
else?
सर मैंने एक्चुअली आई ट्राई टू लुक फॉर कि एक्चुअली में असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार का एज पर द वेरियस एक्ट्स जो जेएंडके में है, दो एक्ट्स हैं और एक रूल्स हैं 2001 जो फ्रेम हुए थे सर, उनमें ना असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार से रिलेटेड, डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है एक्सेप्ट एक प्रोविजन जिसमें कि वो इलेक्टोरल रोल में आते हैं उनका रोल. अदरवाइज डेप्यूटी रजिस्ट्रार एंड असिस्टेंट एंड रजिस्ट्रार का ही हर जगह है, ऑलमोस्ट 99% उन्हीं का है. तो सर ये जो
Yes.
था ना कि मैंने जो आपको बताया था कि टू असिस्ट द रजिस्ट्रार, सर एक्चुअली एक ओडिशा या फिर आई थिंक मेघालय का एक आर्टिकल आया था, तो उसमें ये चीज पता लगी थी कि असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार असिस्ट करता है रजिस्ट्रार को इन वेरियस फील्ड्स, इन वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द कोऑपरेटिव. सर बट आई एम नॉट श्योर कि क्या ये कहना ठीक होगा या फिर कुछ और वर्डिंग यूज करनी पड़ेगी सर.
देखिए उसके लिए वी थिंक आई विल गेट यू इन टच विद डेप्यूटी रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव डिपार्टमेंट. हमारे पैनलिस्ट भी रहे हैं. विल गेट यू इन टच विद हर
ओके.
और she'll be able to guide you कि what exactly you need to say in that answer.
श्योर सर, दैट वुड
Okay.
बी ग्रेट हेल्प सर.
Okay, we'll get you in touch with her.
एंड सर
Yes.
जी सर लास्ट वन क्वेश्चन था सर, कैन आई एक्सपेक्ट सम लेट्स से politically controversial questions like around the abrogation of 370 35A or likewise.
Definitely, you will be asked regarding the controversial aspects of it as well. 370, since we are from the Kashmir, उसमें तो 370 तो बनता है आपका. उसके बाद डेमोग्राफिक चेंज भी यहाँ पर काफी क्रिटिसिज्म है कि इंडिया माइट बी एबल टू डू अ डेमोग्राफिक चेंज. तो वो उस पर भी आपका एक बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच होना चाहिए. 370 के जैसे फायदे भी है इन द रियल सेंस एज वेल. उसके फायदे भी है, उसके नुकसान भी है. तो यू शुड हैव अ बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच. आपके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स, जैसे कि आपने मेंस में भी आपको बताया कि इट्स अ बैलेंस्ड आंसर, वैसे ही आपको बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच होगी. दोनों चीजें बतानी है कि इसमें फायदे भी है, इसमें नुकसान भी है. हाउएवर हमें कंक्लूड करना है ऑन ए पॉजिटिव एंड. तो इससे इंटीग्रेशन होगी, इससे लोगों को जो है साथ में लेकर इंक्लूसिव तरीके से पॉलिसी मेकिंग होनी चाहिए. सो कंट्रोवर्शियल क्वेश्चंस 100%. एक एक ऐसा पैनलिस्ट तो होगा जो पूछेगा आपको रिगार्डिंग दैट. रिगार्डिंग जैसे अगर आपका उनको रिलीजियस एंगल भी आपका उनको लगा कि आप रिलीजियसली इंक्लाइंड है, तो वहां से भी आपको पूछा जा सकता है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल रिसेंटली जो आपका वो गंगा स्नान हुआ है, ऑलमोस्ट 30 to 40 लाख पीपल हैव गैदर्ड देयर. सो वो
राइट.
कंट्रोवर्शियल इशू बन चुका है काफी ज्यादा कि जब भी तबलीगी जमात का इशू हुआ था, सो देयर वर नॉट मच पीपल, 1000 मे बी 1200 पीपल देयर. कंपेयर दैट टू 40 लाख
राइट.
पीपल इन द ओमिक्रॉन. सो ऐसे सवाल होंगे, बट यू हैव टू बी बैलेंस्ड और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे जाते रहना. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन विल बी योर, कहते हैं ना कि जहां जब बच्चा परेशान होता है तो वो माँ के पास जाता है. बिल्कुल ऐसे जब भी जिससे इंटरव्यू पूछा पूछा जाता है, जब वो परेशान होता है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन भाग जाता है. तो जैसे ही आपको कोई ऐसा कंट्रोवर्शियल इशू पूछा जाएगा, जस्ट गो टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. प्रियम्बल में ऐसे है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऐसे है, सो विल हैव टू फॉलो दैट. उस तरीके से यू कैन हैंडल दैट. Okay, Mr. Verma, you can contact the office number. We'll get you in touch with the Deputy Registrar, Cooperative Department, and she'll be able to
ओके.
help you a lot. Okay?
ओके सर. सर
Okay,
सो
all the best.
so should I message her or should I call her at what time sir, can you let me know?
You can ask for the timing in which she'll be comfortable for your call. Then you can call her. Okay?
Sure sir, sure sir. Thank you
Okay.
sir,
All the
thank you
best.
so much.
All the best.
Thank you sir, thank you.